Welcome to Life Happens, where Texans come to protect their legacy and prepare for the second half of life. Join your host, attorney Kim Hegwood with Hegwood Law Group, and our weekly guest as we navigate the challenges that emerge as life happens. Now here's your host, Kim Hegwood.
Good morning. We have a very special guest today on Life Happens. It's Cristen Reat with BridgingApps. Welcome, Cristen, this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And so I guess probably the big question that, we want to ask is that tell our listeners what BridgingApps does. What is it?
So BridgingApps is both a website. It's bridgingapps.org. It's also an in-person program that's part of Easter Seals Greater Houston and part of the National Easter Seals Affiliate Network that serves people with disabilities. So BridgingApps itself, we focus on mostly using mobile devices and apps with people of all ages, all disabilities, from really young children all the way up to seniors. So that is what we are passionate about.
Well, that's awesome. And because I think that, as technology progresses, the more we can use to help people, seniors, children or adults with disabilities, I think that's even better for them, in order to help them get through, their challenges that they may have, during life. So it's my understanding that you actually created this app. Is that correct?
So yeah, I'm the co-founder. So I, myself and my co-founder, way back in 2010, when the iPad first came out, we didn't even know each other. We started using the iPad and apps with our children, as did our children's therapist. So I am the mother of a now 17-year-old son with multiple disabilities. And at the time he was about 6 years old. And it was a game changer for him in education and accessing technology. Because of his disabilities, he was born with Down syndrome. He also has a diagnosis of autism and a visual impairment. And at the time, he was about to enter kindergarten and couldn't really hold a pencil. So we knew that these tablets, these touch tablets, and touch technology had been out for a while, but these fairly low-cost, commercially available devices were just a game changer for him. So he could not use a traditional computer mouse. And so for him to be able to take a tablet and be able to do educational games, therapeutic games, that is how BridgingApps emerged. It emerged in a therapy clinic with speech therapists, occupational therapists, and parents of lots of different types of kids, lots of different disabilities, different ages. And we were all discovering and exploring the power of the device, plus the different apps that were coming out. And, an app is just software. It's just easy to use software on a device. So it was we got really excited about it and started a website and became part of Easter Seals Greater Houston in 2011.
That's amazing. And so let's kind of dig in a little deeper and tell me what kinds of things that people can find, on your website or on the app.
Yeah, so if you go to bridgingapps.org, what you're going to find is hopefully a very easy to navigate website that focuses on everything having to do with smartphones, tablets, and apps. So you're going to find communities there. We have it kind of divided up into caregivers. I consider myself a caregiver not only of my son, but also helping, my mother-in-law and my parents, even though it's remote. And so there's a section, hopefully most people, when they go to the website, they can find them, they can find themselves in the website. So we serve veterans, seniors, caregivers, and families. And hopefully that captures everybody. So you can kind of start there. You can also find a database under an area called App Search. So if you go straight to bridgingapps.org, you'll see a section in the middle called App Search. And that is where we maintain our database of about 3,000 different apps. It sounds like a lot, but we consider ourselves kind of a shortcut for finding apps for different special needs and disabilities. because there are thousands and thousands of apps in both the Google Play Store and the App Store. And so we try to shortcut that process for people. We review apps. So you'll find app reviews of all different prices, everything from free to some of the more expensive apps for things like communication, for things like healthcare management, all the things that caregivers and people with disabilities are interested in finding out how technology can help them. So it's divided up into sections of everything having to do with both apps, and then how do you choose a mobile device? Or maybe you got one as a gift and you want to know how to use it. So we've got videos and how-tos and tips and tricks. And if you use apps, if you have a smartphone, if you have a tablet, or you're thinking about them, especially if you yourself have a disability or you're trying to help your child or a loved one, we would hope you come and find some really great things to enhance your life.
So when you're searching for, different types of apps, is there a particular way, and I'll give you just an example. One of my grandsons has a learning disability. He has a reading comprehension problem. So, he has to, you have to read it to him. He has to read it. He has to kind of, read it again, or someone read it again. So it takes him a little while for that information to make sense to him. So if I'm looking for an app, is that something that I might find on BridgingApps? And if so, how do you dig deep to kind of search to see which app would benefit my child? Does that make sense?
It does. That's such a great question. And it is so overwhelming, I would say, again, because of just the number of apps that are available and how do you know? And so that's where we basically have different professionals from different parts of the country who are, for example, special education teachers or reading specialists or psychologists or speech therapists. And so they use the technology in their work and they write the app reviews for us. So they use it, they trial it, they use it themselves and their clients with disabilities or people with all kinds of different abilities, and they write the app reviews. So if for that situation, you would basically just go to app search, and on the left-hand side, there are just probably 10 different ways to search for things. So how we understand most people search is doing a keyword search. If you keyword search in Google, you're probably going to get, millions of search results. If you go to BridgingApps and go to app search and type in, for example, for that scenario, you just type in reading or reading comprehension in the keyword search at the top left. And then you'll get search results. So you'll get search results, typically 20 apps per page. And then you click on an individual app to learn more about it. And if you have too many search results, if you have pages and pages, then you can narrow it down. You can go back and, for example, let's say you're an Android user, you don't have an iPhone or an iPad, you use Android. You could filter your results typing in by the device that you have. You could filter results by, look, I don't have any budget. What is free that might be helpful? And so you can just narrow the search or you can make it broader. And then you just kind of search and browse and look. You can read reviews. Typically a review will have the price, it will have the device, it will have who it was trialed with, not the person's name, but typically the type of kid. And so in that scenario, probably what would come up would be apps like Libby or Overdrive or RazKids. And all of those are different accessible ways to have things read aloud and have different amazing features built in that help people with learning disabilities, dyslexia, all kinds of things like that. So that's just one example of how you would find something that might help your particular situation.
So what do you find these days that are more of your best apps for children, with disabilities? Is there some particular apps that are just seem to be kind of universal that are really good? And is it different apps than you can find on the App Store, like for people who have iPhones? Or are they only on your BridgingApps website?
So what we do is we look mostly at apps for the Apple platform. So for anything for iPhone or an iPad or iPod Touch, as well as the Android platform. So that covers the majority of apps. There are some that are also web-based apps, meaning that you can't put them on your device, but you could type in a website on your computer, or you could type it in on a device, but it doesn't have a separate app. So essentially, when people say best, that's really tricky because, best for what or best for whom? What we try to look at BridgingApps are the companies, the app developers who have been in the market for a while and have made excellent apps for disabilities. And by excellent, I mean, for the most part, they've been very intentional in their design of a particular app. They've put features in that can be helpful, that are easy to use, that don't require a lot of, setup time. But depending on what you're looking for and depending on the individual's needs, it's so broad that's why there are apps for specific disabilities, but you're also going to find kind of what we call mainstream apps on our website, for example, like Starbucks or Waze. To get around, wayfinding is a big deal. For somebody with dyslexia, Waze and Google Maps and some of the map apps are lifesavers, because part of the thing is direction, and being told directions of where to go can be super helpful. Also for caregivers and let's say you're going to a new place for the first time, you can use some of those tools to kind of map out and feel more comfortable. Is there accessible parking? Using Google Street Maps, is there a ramp there? Do I need to call in advance? And things that you can do yourself that empower people. So you can find all kinds of things, but saying the best, it really just depends on your situation. So we try to include things with keywords to help people find what they need. But typically, a developer who's been around for a while and who's very intentional and uses principles of something called universal design means that it just is helpful for lots of different types of people. So there are some amazing apps, there are some amazing developers that we follow, that we include, that we try to keep updated. So the apps that you're going to find, we don't create any apps at BridgingApps. Our mission is really to curate them, to organize them, categorize them, and get them reviewed so that it just saves people time, because special education teachers, parents, caregivers, therapists don't have a lot of time to spend on it because they're busy doing their jobs. And we're hoping that the information here done by other professionals can help, shortcut that process for people.
So what about events or trainings and things like that? Do you have those kinds of things as well at BridgingApps?
We do. And again, if you come to BridgingApps and you're looking for something specific and you're a little bit overwhelmed, or you don't find exactly what you're looking for, or you just want help, we run a help desk where you basically just click on help and you submit a little form, and then somebody will contact you. So that is one way that we answer a lot of questions. It's constantly monitored. So that is one way to kind of get some extra help if you don't find what you need. We also do trainings. We do one-on-one trainings. We do group trainings. And on our website, on the front page is a calendar. And so we put all our events there. Because of COVID, like many organizations and companies, doing events virtually is what we're doing currently. But in non-COVID times, and we're hoping that hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll be back open. We have in the Houston area and in the Woodlands and in, my light just went out, and in Clear Lake, in Stafford, we have 3 different assistive technology labs that are open to the public. Our largest lab is here in the Houston area, and that's a lab where the community can visit. Anybody can come in and try some of the technologies that we have. So you can try a mobile device and look at some of those apps and have somebody show you some things. So we're hoping to restart those in-person events by the end of the summer.
Perfect. And so, that's amazing. I think of all the research and time it takes to to go through apps and to do the research and test them to see, which ones would benefit, your child the best. And so I just have to commend you and probably Easter Seals as well for bringing you on and giving you a bigger platform so that you can help so many children. And so, Cristen, it has been a pleasure talking to you today, and I look forward to getting on the website and seeing what I can find. And I'm hoping that our listeners will too. And so if you, I appreciate that immensely. Just out of curiosity, the website is up, and it's the bridgingapps.org. Is there a phone number, Cristen, that they can call if they need something?
Absolutely. So the phone number is 713-838-9050. We have several programs, but you'll click on Bridging Apps. So you can call us, you can go to the website, you can send us a message, and just check the calendar frequently, because when we do reopen, we will post information about that and where you can come. Typically, in non-COVID times, we have what's called Family Night. And every Tuesday night, there's all kinds of stuff going on here at Easter Seals, where we have different people come in checking out the lab. We have adaptive play groups for children. Counseling is going on. Financial coaching is going on. So Tuesday nights generally were big nights. So we're hoping to get back to that soon.
I hope so as well. And so definitely. So thank you so much for being on the show today. And we look forward to hopefully being able to send more people to you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Life Happens with Kim Hegwood. Be sure to tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. wherever you listen to your podcast as we navigate through the challenges that emerge as life happens. The content of this podcast does not establish an attorney-client relationship or constitute attorney-client privilege, legal, medical, financial, or any other professional advice.